Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my current favorite affordable foundations. I know that this has been requested on my channel, so I wanted to start off with my affordable foundations, my drugstore foundations, and then soon you guys will be seeing a more high-end foundation video. So these are my current obsessions that I really recommend to you guys, and they're not just for people that have oily skin. I'm also going to be sharing some for people that do have dry skin, so you definitely will want to check this out because I'm covering the whole spectrum. I want to first start off with a foundation that is more suited for my full coverage queens, my people that are looking for a more matte oil-free finish. So that one is my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. This foundation is one of my all-time favorite foundations. I always recommend this foundation. Now, I do have to say, if you're somebody that doesn't like full coverage, then you're not gonna like this. This is definitely one for people that like a full done up glam look. This is also somebody that wants a foundation that's going to keep them oil free for approximately 5 to 6 hours before you need to touch up. This is one of those foundations that for me, whenever I wear this foundation, people are always asking me, what are you wearing? Your skin looks so flawless. I find that this foundation makes my skin look nice and smooth and does a good job of not enhancing my texture. Whenever I'm filming a video and I already have my foundation on, typically I am wearing this foundation. There was a while where I would only wear this foundation when it was like for a special occasion for something, because I was like, I feel like when I wear that foundation, my makeup looks next level. So I just like always saved it for that. But I find that with this foundation, you can really get a beautiful finish. It just makes you look nice and oil free, almost like you had a powder foundation over the foundation. And that's exactly what I'm going for, especially when I want to look super glam. I don't want any radiance peeking through. I just want it to look super duper snatched. Like I'm telling you, like porcelain doll vibes. That's what I get from this. So if you are looking for a full coverage, nice oil-free foundation, then this is what you're gonna enjoy. I do have to say, if I start wearing this from like, 9 a.m. and then I wear this all the way through like 10 p.m. or 9 p.m., I'm definitely gonna be a little bit dewy by the end of the day. This more so I recommend for like if you're going to an event or somewhere where you're gonna be photographing, somewhere where you're going to want your makeup to really look good for those like 5 hours, 6 hours, then this is the one for you. But if you're gonna be wearing this for everyday basis, I don't think that's the foundation. I find that there's other foundations that work well for like every day, a little bit more of a natural finish. This is definitely like a glam doll foundation. Going along with this Conceal and Define foundation, I want to talk about another foundation by Makeup Revolution for my ladies and gents who are looking for a foundation that's more hydrating, because I know some of you guys are like, oh my god, that sounds beautiful, but I have dry skin, I can't get away with that. So that's where this one comes in. This is the Conceal and Hydrate. I recently spoke about it and it quickly became one of my favorite foundations that is affordable. This one is great because it does give you that natural skin like radiance. It's packed with hyaluronic acid, which hydrates and moisturizes the skin, which is also another thing that's very essential for people that do have dry skin. This one would definitely be more suited for dry to combination skin, because I know some people with combination skin suffer from dry patches in certain areas of their face. So this is one of those foundations that can really hydrate those dry patched areas. I know that right now that we're in these colder months, some of us tend to have issues of our face being a little bit dehydrated, because sometimes the cold air can definitely absorb some of that hydration in our face. So that's another reason why I wanted to also mention this, because this is also a great hydrating foundation. As of recently, I like to mix these together. So what I do is I'll do a little bit of my Conceal and Define, which is my more full cover matte foundation, and then I mix it with the Conceal and Hydrate, a pump of this, and it's like pure magic. You get a happy medium of both. So it gives you that hydration of the Conceal and Hydrate, but then it gives you that good full coverage, slightly matte of the Conceal and Define. It almost gives you like a very soft, subtle matte finish. So together they work like a dream come true. This one is way more full coverage than the Conceal and Hydrate. So this is definitely more so for every day, which is another reason why I do love the Conceal and Hydrate foundation, is because I find that this is for like the glam evenings, and then this one is for the day-to-day basis. Now I do have to say though, if you are looking at this and you do have oily skin, you will get a little bit luminous by the end of the day through the end of the day, because I feel like it does pick up a little bit of that glowy effect. Now for me, it didn't give me like intense dewiness where I'm like, whoa, she looks like she's like greasy AF. It gave me like healthy glow, like almost like I had some more highlight on. So I really still appreciated this foundation even with that. But I feel like it's great that Makeup Revolution now has a foundation that is hydrating and also has a foundation that gives you a full coverage matte finish. So now I want to go into the foundation that I'm currently wearing, and that is the Cokie Cosmetics Full Cover Foundation. This launched a few months ago, and I was very, very impressed with the formula and also with the packaging and everything. I have been using Cokie's products, I want to say since last year, and even within that short amount of time, I find that Cokie Cosmetics has done a phenomenal job of really stepping up, of really just killing it with their product launches and really elevating the look of their foundation. I mean, this looks like a luxurious foundation. Can we just talk about it? This packaging is so beautiful. It comes with this beautiful pump. It's just great. So with this foundation, what I like to do is I like to apply it with a damp e.l.f. sponge. You guys know I always use my damp e.l.f. sponge. And you do not need that much foundation because a little bit of this goes a very long way. It kind of reminds me of the Conceal and Define by Makeup Revolution in terms of it being nice and full coverage. I also love the fact that with this foundation, I feel like it just gives my skin such perfected vibes. And I love the fact that as soon as I apply it, it doesn't make me look radiant or luminous. Like in the areas where I'll typically look radiant and luminous with, you know, the regular foundations, like a luminous foundation or like just like a normal foundation, I find that I'll have like a little bit of dewiness peek through. But with this, like it keeps me nice and matte and oil free, which I really, really appreciate. So this is definitely a foundation for people that are looking for a full coverage finish, but are also looking for a good, nice matte consistency that's going to just give them beautiful skin vibes. Now, I do have to say the consistency of this foundation is more of like a clay-like finish. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation, which was one of my favorites back in the day. I feel like this one though has a little bit more coverage than that. But once you blend it into the skin, it just blends in so seamless and you immediately start to see the full coverage that it gives you right away without it looking cakey. And that's something that a lot of us tend to look for in foundations or shy away from in foundations, is the fact that we hear full coverage and we immediately think, oh my gosh, it's going to be so cakey. But this foundation is not cakey whatsoever. You guys can see it on my skin. I feel like it just gives the skin such a beautiful, perfected look. And also I really love the fact that with this foundation, it doesn't feel like I'm wearing foundation. It feels like I'm not wearing anything. So when I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh my gosh, you have a full B. And it's because of how lightweight the foundation feels. Even though it is a full coverage, more on the matte side foundation, I find that with this foundation, it feels good, it looks good, and it doesn't cake up through the day, which is fabulous. I did go ahead and bake my cheeks today because I wanted to give them a little bit more of a structured effect, and the powder didn't cling onto my foundation. And also when I went here and did my under eye concealer, I also had no issues with it. So I really appreciate those aspects of it. I remember when I did my video reviewing this foundation, I was looking at it and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm looking so good. And I remember I got so many compliments that day and I was like, it's the foundation. It's so beautiful. And you can find this foundation at Rite Aid, so it's definitely a drugstore foundation find. You can also go on Cokie Cosmetics' website and pick this up from there. And right now I am wearing the shade 60W, which is 60 warm, and I find that the shade suits me pretty well and it photographs beautifully. So I definitely recommend checking this out. Like I mentioned, you can find this in select Rite Aid stores, or you can always go on their website, Cokie Cosmetics. I also do have a coupon code with them, and that is the Mex Beauty, and you can save 25% off your entire order. So this may be worth checking out with that little coupon code. So the next two foundations that I'm going to talk about are more so for my people that have dry skin, so get ready. So this next one is Milani's Conceal and Perfect. This one is one that Milani really nailed. I do have to say this one works best for dry to combination skin, because I know that with my combination skin people, they really like one of those finishes that's able to, you know, hydrate the areas where they have those dry patches, because typically with that type of skin type, what it is that it's dry patches and then like an oily T-zone. So I find that this works great with that because it hydrates those areas that may have that dryness. It lays beautifully on top of the skin, but then you can also go in with a little bit of powder and set the area where you do get oily so that it can prolong the wear of oil-free on that select area. So this foundation is one that I feel like a lot of people were obsessed with. It does smell like apples, which is one of the reasons why I love it so much. And I find that with this foundation, it's so good for people that are looking for a nice medium buildable coverage. This is a great everyday foundation. And I find that it just gives you this very beautiful, radiant skin-like finish. Immediately when I put this on my skin, I see that like nice glowy finish come through, and it's a healthy glow. It's not a glow where you're like, oh my gosh, this looks super wet, this looks really greasy. It doesn't look like that. So I find that for people that do have that combination skin, they can still get away with that because it does look good on them. For people that have normal and dry skin, as soon as you put this on, you're gonna be like, wow, this is like snatched. This is so nice and luminous, and it's just giving me all the vibes, and it just looks good on the skin. So this is one of my favorites. And another cool thing about this foundation is that not only is it a foundation, but you could also just use it to conceal or do a little bit of undry darkness. You can go in and spot conceal, and it's going to give you a very makeup, no makeup look. So I find that this foundation is best for everyday wear. You can build it up to like a full coverage for like an evening out because it definitely gives you that capacity. But I feel like more so for every day, this is definitely one that I would keep my eyes out. You can find this anywhere at this point, like Walmart, CVS, Target, all those stores. So the last foundation I want to talk about is another foundation for my more so dry skin people. Now, this is supposed to be for all skin types, and I do feel like even with my oily skin, I love this foundation. This is the Healthy Foundation by Physicians Formula, and I actually did a dupe video, I want to say at the beginning of the year, comparing this to the La Mer foundation, and I was like, this may be the one. And this foundation does contain SPF of 20. Now, SPF with foundation is a little tricky just because I find that when they mix SPF into foundations, things tend to get a little bit washed away just because the ingredients in SPF tend to be mixed together with the foundation. So I would say if you are looking to purchase this and you're like, oh my God, it has SPF, I don't have to worry about SPF, still put on your sunscreen before you apply foundation because this isn't enough to cover you. That's just something that I'm going to recommend right away for you guys. But the reason I like this foundation is because it gives you the prettiest, healthy finish. Like, it's so true to the claim of the Healthy Foundation. For an everyday foundation, this is absolutely fabulous because it covers what it needs to cover. It did a great job of covering my rosacea, but still giving me an everyday wear finish. You guys know that for everyday wear, we're either looking for something tinted moisturizer like, or if you're somebody like me that likes to wear a little bit more than tinted moisturizer, we can go with this one, but it still feels like a very lightweight finish, even though the coverage is a little bit more fuller than a tinted moisturizer. So I just love the way that this goes on the skin. I love the way that it feels on the skin and the longevity. I find myself wearing this for a full day and my skin still looks beautiful and radiant. Now with this foundation, of course, for somebody with oily skin, by the end of the day, I will be picking up some dew and I will have a little bit of radiance, but I find that it still looks very healthy. This foundation, I do have to say, I feel like I prefer this more so during like spring and summer just because that's when I like to wear a more natural finish. But because this does have very good hydrating factors in it, I find that it's great for like the fall season when it's chilly out and you still want some hydration on your skin. I did pick this one up in the shade DW2. So this is another reason why I loved it so much because I'm like, oh, doe foot applicator, I don't have to get my fingers dirty, my nails dirty. Like we're good to go. So this is one that I find is such a beautiful finish. And for people that have that dry skin, that normal skin, you will really love this, and it will just give you like an evened out complexion. It will give you a nice radiance that looks healthy, like a J-Lo glow, and you're gonna love the consistency of it because the consistency blends perfectly into the skin. You don't have to worry about it setting really fast. With all these foundations, you don't have to worry about that. You can just work at your pace. You don't have to be like stabbing your face with your e.l.f. sponge to really get it to absorb in before it dries down. So I really love that about this foundation. This is just a really good foundation that I find is all around great for people that do have dry to normal skin. So that pretty much wraps up the foundations that I'm currently loving from the drugstore. So with these, I wanted to keep it very, very simple. There could have been so many other products that I could have added, but I find that these are the top ones that I just knew I had to mention for people that have dry skin, people that have oily skin. These are the ones. So if you're looking for a new foundation, then I would really recommend checking these out, maybe watching more reviews if you don't feel convinced yet, or you can go into your local Ultas or your local drugstores and seeing it for yourself, because I think that always helps. It's just kind of like swatching it or like feeling it out, but you can never go wrong with these because they're very affordable, so it's not like you're breaking the bank with these. And that's very important because I know that a lot of us have so many other things to worry about and we can't spend all of our money on makeup. So I totally understand you, and as always, I got you with the foundation. So I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video and learned a little bit more about these foundations in case you guys were eyeing them. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment down below and I will go ahead and read them and answer you guys. I love having conversations with you guys, so let's start a conversation. Down below, I will have all the information on these foundations listed in my description box, so you guys can go ahead and check them out. So yeah, give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed watching my favorite foundations from the drugstore that are affordable, and give this video a big thumbs up if you're ready to see my foundation video for high-end foundations. So stay tuned for that because that will be coming very soon. And thank you so much again. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you become a member of our family here on YouTube, because you wouldn't want to miss my videos. They're amazing, and we are slowly on our way to 40K. So let's get to 40K. And what else do I want to say? Oh, don't forget to hit that notification bell, because if you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified every single time I upload and you won't be missing any of my uploads ever. So that being said, I love you guys so much, and I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye guys.